It's me, it's P, it's G, it's chillin', and this is my review of the new Clipse album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. That's right, new Clipse music is finally here, and of course that is the collab, the Thornton Brothers, rappers known by Pusha T, and formerly known as Malice. The boys from Virginia are back with a new album, alongside with longtime friend and producer, also from Virginia, Pharrell Williams. Now I can dive deeper into each of these respective artists' history or, things that unfolded within the last 15 years. If we talk about the Neptunes, which was Chad Hugo and Pharrell Williams, and, they had their own falling out, whether it was artistically or industry drama, lawsuits. I don't want to get into all that stuff, but nonetheless, these three are back working together, and they have been working together for the last couple of years working on this album. This is Clipse's first album since 2009's Till the Casket Drops. Granted, since the 2000s, all of these respective artists, their careers and career trajectories have changed in different ways, whether it be Pusha T going more in a solo direction, still doing coke rap, collabing with producers like Ye, and of course still Pharrell, and putting out some great albums like Daytona, My Name Is My Name, It's Almost Dry, and King Push, Darkest Before Dawn. And then of course Pusha T's brother would then change his name to No Malice and went in a direction that was more spiritual and more gospel music. He even worked with a Christian rapper, Lecrae. And most notably, most popular of the three and most successful of the three would be Pharrell Williams, as he went on to do a lot more. He still did a lot of production for so many hip-hop artists, but also went more in a pop direction, and his production also went towards more of a pop instinct, as he's done collabs, soundtracks. Of course, he got really big, as if he wasn't, mainstream, a mainstream heavy artist already, with his song Happy back in, I don't even remember the year that came out. So given the history of these three artists that I'm working together and now working back together over the last couple of years, this is a highly anticipated release. And while they all went in different directions artistically or maybe creatively, some things just stay the same. Now, do I mean that in a positive way? You're about to find out. Given that it's been 15 years that they put out an album, they started out with a beautiful, more heartfelt track in The Birds Don't Sing, where both Pusha T and Malice spit verses that talk about their last conversations with their mother, with their father, as they had passed away within 4 months of each other. And of course, I learned more of this information from their Tiny Desk concert they put on YouTube. But if you listen to the lyrics and you really pay attention to it, it really is a beautiful, heartfelt moment that makes you, humanize these two as these coke rap professional rappers, and you hear them talk about something that's personal, which they don't usually do. But it was nice to hear that as the opening track to this reunion / comeback album. But you can't really call it a comeback because they've been here for years. And after this first song, they start getting into the nitty gritty, that gangsta rap, coke talk rap that you all want to hear as Clipse fans. And just to put it bluntly, I'm just going to say it right off the top that Pusha T and Malice absolutely did their part and did their thing across this whole album when it comes to bars, when it comes to delivery, getting their point across, and really matching the tones, especially the menacing tones throughout the production on this album. Really just A1, A+. And when I talk about menacing production, of course I'm going to start off with Chains and Whips, which, the Kendrick verse leaked, and that there was a lot of industry lawsuit stuff that had to go with that. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the music. And of course, this instrumental is just chilling, and it just feels like you're stuck in a labyrinth, or it's like you're running away or being chased by a demon. And just when you think you've beat him around the corner, he's right there. He's right there, right behind you. The production is very layered, a lot of elements to it. Like I said, it's got these chilling keys, these like organs that are just kind of like thumping at you. There's also this like guitar riff also going on throughout the beat. It's dark, it's edgy, brings out the best in Pusha T, Malice, and then of course Kendrick Lamar with his sensational feature verse on here. Again, to continue with the theme of that type of menacing, eerie production, we have the next song, POV, and Tyler the Creator also comes out with a fiery verse. As Pusha T and Malice said before, he's like, they call him a Clipster, in other words, like a super Clipse fan, and you can tell that Tyler really appreciated and just wanted to be on this album and couldn't wait to be on this album, and he delivered another fantastic guest feature verse as well. And there's a beat switch on this song, which there are beat switches on a few other songs in here as well, and this one's for Malice's third verse here. And again, the beat is Again, it's menacing, eerie, but a slower tempo, and then come the third verse, the beat switches up. And then if you haven't heard the song by now, So Be It, which is the Travis Scott disc. Again, great production on there. You have the Arabic, Middle Eastern sample flip with that like reversed percussion, and those like Oriental violin strings. Just maybe my favorite beat, and perhaps my favorite song of the year. Their first release single for this thing is on here, of course, Ace Trumpets. And you know, in the beginning, when I first heard the song, I wasn't too keen on it. But you know, after hearing it a few more times and again on this album, I actually really enjoy the song. And the point I want to point out about the production is that similar to Ace Trumpets, you also have other songs where the hook and the refrain, it kind of like slows down, and then when it comes to the verses, it just ramps up. Very synth-heavy album, of course. This also happens on the song So Far Ahead. There's just a good amount of hard-hitting beats on here, and there's 3 songs with acronyms on them. I don't want to mess this up, but Mike Tyson, Blow to the Face, another one just like a blow to the face. Pause. The hard hit of cocaine to the face. Not that I've experienced that. Not that I would tell you that. But of course, it's not only menacing and hard-hitting, bass-filled and synth-heavy tracks. There are also a few songs on here, you know, use a lot more tempered, slower paced, or, you know, just did not have that trap influence on it. Like on the song EBITDA, or on FICO, the opening song, The Birds Don't Sing, and the closing song, By the Grace of God. In fact, the opening song and the closing song, which are the most heartfelt, non-coke rappy tracks on this album, they have a clear gospel influence on the production, and it makes sense given the material that's on it. Now, I'm not saying this album is without its flaws, and again, I'm leaning more on the production here, but Pharrell Williams, you know, he tends to, as again he did with NERD, he tends to, you know, explore or get a little more experimental, and, you know, overall he's an innovative producer, but when you try to be innovative or too innovative, and you know you're just an artist or a producer of that caliber, you know, you try to get in that bag, you're gonna have some misses, you're gonna have some maybe miscalculations or some flaws, at least to the ears of, you know, a common listener, we'll call it. Most notably to me, the beat that I dislike the most, and perhaps the song I dislike the most because of that, is Inglorious Bastards. There's this continuous horn loop, and it kind of sounds like someone's like failing or playing the horn or the trumpet poorly. And considering the way I've described the rest of the production with menacing or having some gospel, some soul influence on here, this the beat on here fits that aesthetic the least. Those elements of the beat just sound awkward, and it just, you know, it just makes the whole thing sound awkward, and where the rappers don't sound like they're fitting on it either. Which is a shame, because when I saw the track name Inglorious Bastards as a Quentin Tarantino fanatic, I was disappointed. A song title of Inglorious Bastards should have had a Ye verse and Ye production on it. And I'm not saying that this is a bad song, but Let God Sort 'Em Out / Chandeliers, I found the transition between the two to kind of, I don't know if it didn't make sense or just kind of came out of nowhere. Although I do like Nas's verse and contribution to it, having a beat switch on a song that's that short, that kind of didn't really transition smoothly, it just, I don't know, that felt a little awkward too. And quite frankly, while we're talking about Pharrell and his contributions, I feel like on the few songs where he's having like, he's doing a hook or refrain, I didn't feel like he was all needed. Like, I thought his vocals fit snugly on the hook for All Things Considered, but then on songs like So Far Ahead and By the Grace of God, I don't know, it just, to me, it just didn't fit. It just felt kind of forced, and honestly, I think that Pusha T has had a fair share of, you know, decent or good hooks. I feel like we could have benefited from, you know, a hook from one of them, or perhaps have a hook from The Dream on one of the songs, as he was featured on one of the songs at the end. But nonetheless, after all of my nitpicking of pretty much just Pharrell Williams, when it comes to this group project, we'll call it, like I said, I'm giving Malice and Pusha T, the rapping performances, I'm giving them an A to an A+, and Pharrell Williams, there are some great songs in here, but also a few disjointed beats on here. So I'd give Pharrell Williams probably maybe a B-, a B. Again, a few of my favorite songs coming out this year are on this thing. But then you have a song like Inglorious Bastards where I just feel like, I didn't need it on this album. There's a lot of producers I feel like who do that, or would take like an awkward or a bad piece of music and then try to incorporate it and make some kind of smash hit, or just, you know, they're being creative. They want to see if they can turn something that's awkward, try to make something bad, turn it to good, negative to a positive. I get it. So yeah, this album is not without its flaws. It's not perfect. It's not this super like nostalgic album that some people may be saying. It is definitely I don't want to say return to form, because these it's not like these two it's not like Malice had fell off or anything like that. It's just that Malice was going in a different direction. And really hearing Malice and Pusha T together again, it's just so clear that they're brothers, the chemistry's there, and their brother here, Pharrell Williams, there clearly is this chemistry that doesn't fade away. It didn't fade away in the 2000s with classic albums like Hell Hath No Fury and Lord Willin'. In this new world of hip hop that's oversaturated with so many artists, with so many ways, so many platforms to get their music out, and a lot of rappers, especially in this like trap subgenre, I feel like, and maybe it's just me getting old, and as you can tell, I feel like everything now feels oversaturated, and you have all these rappers with similar names, with little this, little that, this baby that. I'm not throwing shit at Lil Baby. I'm just saying, like, the game feels just oversaturated with artists that sound the same, kind of do the same thing, similar production. So when I hear something like this, you're like, oh, it's a comeback album. It's like, no, this is what they sounded like, really, in the 2000s. It's what these two sounded like, and this is what the production sounded like in terms of being innovative, hitting you in the face, being unique, and like I said, in a hip-hop world of saturated artistry, this is just a breath of fresh air. Two brothers, two professional rappers going back and forth, versus calculated bars, and they still find ways to reinvent coke rap. I mean, the Bezos of the nasals. I mean, there's a lot of lyrical gems on here. Quite frankly, I think Malice, 15 years apart from, collabing with each other on an album, Malice, honestly, is probably the better of the two rappers on this album. And was he the better rapper all along? I don't know. You have to go back and listen to, older Clipse records. But yeah, Malice really showed up here. So if there was a category for, let's say, comeback rapper artist of the year, Malice is in the lead by a lot. And a lot of people felt a way about Pharrell Williams too. I don't know why I keep butchering his name a little bit, but Pharrell, a lot of people kind of, gave him this fell off treatment, and I wouldn't call it fall off treatment. It's just that he's gotten to a point where he's very mainstream and he's just following these like poppy kind of instincts. But I mean, he still produced some great joints. He was on, he produced. Don't forget, he produced half of "It's Almost Dry" with Pusha T, where I'd say he probably beat Kanye in that production battle there between the two. He's done production for Tyler the Creator, Kid Cudi. He's done some other one-off singles here and there. But I wouldn't say he fell off. I think it's just that when you bring in collaborators that you're so familiar with and you have this great chemistry, it just brings out the best in you. And I feel like this album is also reminiscent of that. I don't know what that was. You have two professional rappers. They bring out the best in each other as brothers. They bring out the best in their features too. Obviously, you have Kendrick Lamar, Tyler the Creator. Nas had not one of Nas's best verses, but Nas had a decent verse on here. Stove God Cooks. It was nice to see Stove God Cooks on an album of this magnitude, and it brings me hope and real enthusiasm for a potential real Griselda Clipse or Pusha T Griselda collaboration, because putting all those coke rappers, on an album or on a track together just sounds like coke rap heaven, like snort hell. When you look at the landscape of hip hop and you see the excitement for this album, it's because it's different, but it's not different. It's just kind of innovative, especially considering the landscape of hip hop. And no one's making music like this. No one's making music like this in 2025. So all three artists, Pusha T, Malice, and Pharrell Williams, work together, still create, still perform at a high level, be innovative, and reinvent their own wheel. So like I said before, these three artists all had careers go off in different directions, but when they work together, things stay the same for the better and for the greater good of hip hop, because now we have this album here in 2025 and really putting a stamp on what a true hip hop album rollout and feel should be about. The music speaks for itself, and that's what's important. Now, I'm not going to Virginia Beach anytime soon, but I'll just say that congrats to Virginia Beach on producing three fantastic artists in the hip hop lane, and they're all legends in their own right. This is a great album. It's not perfect, but perhaps with a few more plays, especially with a few of the songs that I was a little iffy about, maybe it'll grow on me. And yeah, that's how I'm feeling about this record. My favorite songs are The Birds Don't Sing, Chains and Whips, POV, So Be It, Ace Trumpets, and MTBTTF. Mike Tyson blow to the face. Whatever. And I almost said MBTTF for a second. So, what are your favorite songs? What are your thoughts on this album? What are your thoughts on my thoughts? Did you enjoy the album? Did you dislike the album? Again, give me all your feedback and comments. And of course, if you like the video, and please subscribe to my channel and check out more of my hip-hop related content, reviews, rankings, etc. And if you're gonna do coke for the sake of this album, make sure that you buy it locally. Make sure it's safe. I know I'm doing. Don't support any of this. Please don't buy it. These are my thoughts. Stay blessed.